asking you to do this, subscribe, because it's not a bad idea. So before I get started with this presentation, I just want to make sure that everyone watching understands that no, I do not care about black people dating anyone interracially, but we have to talk about the huge degree of hypocrisy when it comes to black men who date and marry outside of our race, as opposed to black women even dating outside of our race, as that is often ignored and even praised in some cases, especially with the B-dubs. Now, there is proof of this all over social media, as Demetrius Johnson, Orjay Lear White, Nate Parker, Michael Strahan, just to name a few. And many black people, especially the little slow tip community and women of the divestment persuasion, hate, and let me say that word again, hate when black men are in interracial relationships and marriages. Listen, like anyone of us who's had a black mom has likely experienced our mothers and even our sisters and aunts telling us not to bring a white girl home. When this is expressed in various forms of media, you know, in a disdainful way, this is called dick policing, and it's pathetic. It's a shaming tactic, but as always, black people, we don't understand our role in this. Like spending our star athlete sons to Division I schools with campuses full of Beckys instead of HBCUs, or we grow up bullying the smart, more frail guys because they aren't thug enough or gangsta enough. But when we grow up, we get mad when we see them being more successful, but having a non-black woman on his arm. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. Now, before I get some young lady or some simp making a comment like, we don't care if black men date outside the race, just don't put down black women's in the process. The response to this notion is, yes, you do. That's right, brother Eric Mays. Yes, they do care. Also, I know this video is about a black woman, the queens, but please just chill on the dog whistles and trigger words for a moment, please.
Black men, there's a lot of misogyny.
Look, everyone, criticism of the wrong words and actions of the B-dub don't make it a misogyny, but whatever. So, if anybody knows Jasmine Crockett, she's a real foot in mouth person, if you ask me.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now.
Who's gonna pick the strawberries?
Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
Folks don't need to be misled.
She's performative like that politician in Black Dynamite that was all preachy. I mean, she embodies that. But she really got herself in hot water by saying this.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess.
I don't care what no one says. That shit was funny. I mean, shit. It's like her first love was being a comedian. I mean, she's funnier than Tiffany Haddish. Well, during her ascension to political relevance, an old clip of her surfaced of her saying this.
If we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, like, I mean, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, like, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you? I'm not really sure.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Dick policing. But let's be brutally honest here. Byron Donalds is somewhat of an easy target for black Americans, especially the ones who are heavily Democratic leaning, which is the overwhelming majority of blacks in this case. Let's get into maybe why she said this, which Rep. Crockett is right in the sense of the context she presented, but she's still wrong. Let's take a look at a snippets of an interview that Rep. Byron Donalds had with Joy Reid from her now canceled MSNBC show, The Reid Out. Oh, the irony. And I have the link to that interview in the description, but I had to shorten it, and I will be reacting somewhat. So, here you go. Warning, warning, incoming tether babble, incoming tether babble.
And you see during Jim Crow, the black family was together. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative minded, but black people voted conservatively. But it is that during Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's what people have taken issue with. What are they missing?
During Jim Crow, the black family was together. That's right. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go down that road, and now we are where we are.
Frankly, what's really happened is that you have, Democrats, and you have the Biden campaign, and some in the media want to twist my words for political families, and why you're seeing a trend of black people leaning towards Republicans in this election cycle, and probably in election cycle, my words saying I was being nostalgic or saying that Jim Crow was good for black people. That's all political spin. It's a lie. It's gaslighting, and that's truly unfortunate.
Why did you use Jim Crow specifically as your reference? You did that. No one else did that. You did it.
And here she is with the political spin and gaslighting.
Oh, I did. We were having a conversation just talking as, black people in Philadelphia. But if you're going to the Jim Crow era in America, during that time period, the marriage rates of black Americans was significant in America, which is a very good thing we should all celebrate, is that the marriage rates in the black community are rising again. That's good for black families. That's definitely good for black children. It's something I want to see. I'm quite sure you want to see it as well.
Okay, let's talk about that. Jim Crow lasted roughly from 1867 after the Civil War to 1968. Is there a specific period between 1867 and 1968 that you thought was this golden era for black families?
This is the problem with most modern day black people. What she did was she pulled out what she wanted out of that entire statement and got Jim Crow was good for black families, which is intellectually dishonest. And that is not what he said.
Families, or a time that was good for black families?
Joy, I never said that. And see, this is where the gaslighting comes in.
I'm going to read what you said. I'm going to play what you said.
Said that it was better for black, and that's wrong.
Now I'm going to talk. Do I have a chance? Good. Now, you talked about the black father being in the family, being able to protect the family.
With the rant that she's about to go on, I'll just say this. This is why the B Words show got canceled.
My show had value. And
I don't give a damn about Joy Reid losing her job, especially after this, and the multitude of other things she said. So whatever.
If we continue to put people into office, and that even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you? I'm not really sure.
Joy Reid, used up by WS, then fired. Rep Donalds actually responded to her comments as a married man should, but to some of us, because he said something back, she broke him and he already lost. Just some matriarchal nonsense. So here's his response.
Foremost, don't talk about my wife. Keep my wife out of this. Ain't got nothing to do with her. You could talk to me about policy anytime you want to. Secondarily, there was a couple of times on the campaign trail last year where I know I was booked to be on stage or to be in debate with Jasmine, and all of a sudden her schedule changed. She had a conflict, whatever the case might be. So if she wants to do this, if she wants to have that debate, I'm easy to find. You ain't got to look hard for me. I'm 6'2". You can find me. It's pretty easy. Number three, and most importantly, this demonstrates, frankly, the racism in the Democrat Party, because they don't have a problem when Kamala Harris is married to a white man or when Ketanji Brown Jackson's married to a white man, as long as they subscribe to the politics of the Democratic left. As long as you do that, everything is fine. But if you're a conservative, but your spouse happens to be white or of another race, then all of a sudden it's a problem. This is the racism that occurs in the Democrat Party. I'm sick of it, tired of the BS. I tell any one of them who have a concern about me and what they think my views are, debate me. And if you don't want to debate me, Google me. There's plenty of information out there because I know that I have the facts. I have the information. I can back my stuff up. All they can do is throw out innuendos, throw out talking points. And the last thing I'll say about Ms. Crockett, and I'm going to leave it alone. Jasmine, I don't use talking points. Nobody tells me what to say. And so I know how to deliver a message because I have facts, I have logic, I use economics, I don't get into hyperbole. So if you are concerned about some of the things that I say find a show. It could be whatever show you want to. We'll sit there and do it. We'll have a good time along the way, and you'll go ahead and be defeated very quickly.
Now, while that comeback might have seemed sensible, it was mistake-ridden and flawed. Jasmine Crockett is at least right in the sense that Byron Donalds doesn't understand the culture. He seems to be a generally good guy that wants American blacks to listen to his ideas and help the black community, as they say. But he doesn't understand a few things. Basically, his archetype isn't accepted in most black-centric circles. He's articulate in his speech, well-dressed, successful, has a law-abiding exterior, and he's married. But he's also a black Republican conservative, and he's married to a white woman, which matters to black people a little bit too much. He's not some tatted up, pants-sagging, skinny jeans wearing gangsta pookie with 4 baby mamas, and at least one of these baby mamas has a big back. He could literally pay off an entire college graduating class of young black men's student debt, and the only thing black people would care about is that he's married to a white woman. Screw the young man's future he just solidified. Always worried about the wrong things just to police the private parts of black men. Speaking of worried about the wrong things, another thing Mr. Donalds doesn't understand about the culture is that with American blacks in particular, a black man who's married outside of the race, especially with a white woman, will never win against a ratchet, loud black woman. That is a sassy sister girl archetype. And it doesn't matter how she behaves, saying stupid, inaccurate shit all the time. They will get behind her for the most part. Remember, the black community is a matriarchy in the general sense. The only thing a black woman can do wrong in a lot of these folks' eyes is vote Republican and or stand in solidarity with black men for the culture and the black family. In fact, we embrace ratchetness and fuckery out of the demographics in America. Black seems to be the only one ingraining that mentality into our culture, even calling it acting black. Jasmine Crockett is perfect. She's a foul mouth by professional standards, loud and wrong, but her defense is that she's a black woman. And by and large, black people will look past the embarrassing nonsense that she portrays in the media. Well, most will. Some of us know how to call it out. But the disturbing thing is this is what made her popular. And Dick Policing Byron Donalds has taken her to new levels of approval and dismay. Not everyone is on board with this. I would personally like to see the real Jasmine Crockett, the one that was successful in the courtroom and how she presented herself then, you know, with her real speaking voice. Because all of this, like I said, is performative, you know, somewhat like a minstrel. Nothing authentic, like old heads like Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters and Jim Clyburn put the battery in her back, and now she just can't shut up to save her life. The real Jasmine Crockett will probably appear to the right white man, then it'll happen. The masculine energy would disappear, and she would be all giddy, bouncy, and use all that femininity, like she's trying to compete with white women for the hearts and affections of white men. Some black women actually believe that if they have sex with white men, those white men actually put their racism to the side to be with a black woman. But black men, for some reason, are pedestalizing white women and worshiping whiteness, hypnotized by some Becky pussy, making us seem like a bunch of weak ass niggas. Maybe, just maybe, Jasmine Crockett needs to look within her own party before policing the private parts of just the people that she doesn't like. The Democratic Party knew what they were doing when they put her out there like that. Many black voters, yet again, falling for manipulation tactics so the Democrats can get the knee-jerk reaction, and Dick Policing black men facilitates that. Please stop. Long live the habitual line steppers.
Because you've been gracious. Is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.